That open diff life. What's up, guys? Good morning. Today we are installing more 240 parts. I'm with Rick right now. So if you remember in the last video I did with the 240, it actually didn't start at all, and we have misplaced the jumper cable. So a technique that Rick knows is the push jump. So basically I'm just gonna take it out of gear, put the e-brake down, he's gonna push me, and then like it's in first gear and I just drop the clutch, and it starts. See, that's okay in a regular car, but the 240 doesn't have a driver's seat. So
look at this thing.
And it's absolutely disgusting. Look at this.
You're not gonna be able to see out the window.
I love this. Probably just do this real fast. Wow, that's disgusting.
Oh boy. Oh.
To start, it's like just.
I think we're gonna need some jumper cables. Well, that was a fail. That was a complete and total fail. That did not work at all. So, car stuck in the middle. All right, well, we finally got started. We found the jumper cables. We used my daily to jump off the 240. It took a minute because it was so dead. Obviously, you can hear it has a little bit of lifter tick from sitting for so long. We're gonna go ahead and take off all the battery stuff and drive it into the garage. Alright, so today we are installing the Fortune Auto 500 series coilovers on the 240. The idea is just to get this thing as low as it can possibly go. I want basically the frame to scrape the ground, just because I want to personally experience having just a stupid 240 for a little bit before I start doing all the serious mods. What are you doing here, Mick?
I'm just taking some baseline measurements of where this thing sits currently, so that when we put the coilovers on, we can make it stupid low and undrivable for you.
Oh, perfect, just what I want to hear. If the car doesn't drive either way, I just want it to be really low for pictures and just so I can say that I have my car looking stupid. For my boys, Fortune Auto. Solid. We're ready to install the rears.
I went ahead and took a measurement from the ground through the center line of the wheel and to the bottom of the wheel arch. It was 24¼ inches. This car is already lowered with springs and shocks, but it gives us a good baseline of where the car sat before we started, so that when we do put the new coilovers on, we can dial it down. I know we're gonna wanna go, I measured the gap, I know we're gonna wanna go roughly 1.5 to 2 inches lower. That's where Dustin wants it, so that he's dragging frame on the ground. So this baseline measurement on all 4 corners allows me to know where we started and where we want to finish. So I suggest doing that when you make any adjustments on your ride height.
So before we actually get started, Mickey went ahead and did a bunch of measurements from the wheel to the actual fender, just so we get an idea of how low we want to go. It's going to be about 1 to 2 inches lower once the coilovers are on. So right now we're going to go ahead and set the preload on all of them.
These in particular ones are 7, which is the most common that I've seen. And what we want to do is we want to create preload on these because it helps reduce bind and spring noise when you're driving the car. So if you have a 7-inch spring, for instance, you want to create about 1/4 inch of preload, which will put these at about 6 3/4 in height once it's tightened. Right now you can see we're at 7. So now I'm going to grab the wrenches that were supplied with this awesome kit and move these up, this perch up 1/4 inch. So now as you can see, we've got 6 3/4 inches from the top of the spring to the bottom of the spring. That's our 1/4 inch of preload that we needed on this spring so that it doesn't bind or make noise when we're driving the car. And then we'll utilize these, the threaded shock body and the bottom mount for our height adjustment of the vehicle. So we'll make our measurements from here to probably the bottom of the perch is a good rule of thumb, and make them all match.
All right, so this car, we already removed, as you saw in one of the previous videos, we removed all the crap out of here because it was all soaked in oil and we found all kinds of really random shit back here. So we just want to make sure there's no dead bodies and stuff, so we just threw all that crap away. What remains now is just the interior plastics, or Tupperware people call them. and some corner lights and shit. But anyway, what I did was I already removed these 10mm screws that go into the floor tray here, and already wiggled these loose. So we're gonna pull these inners out. In our case, we're not using them anymore, so rip. What it does is exposes the upper rear strut mount.
Take the nipple off.
Remove the boot.
Remove the nipple.
So nice. And it exposes the 14 or 13 mil nuts that hold the top of the strut on. So we'll need to break those free, and then we'll remove the wheel and break the bottoms free, and then we'll be able to put the new strut in. So tag along.
Easy enough. Really hoping it's not too hard to get these wheels off, because I don't know what size is that even. Wheel key. It was in the glove box. Thankfully, it's very, very janky.
It's a standard wheel key, bro.
Okay.
They're all janky.
Dump this thing. This car has a fat set of spacers in here. That is a fat set of spacers.
25 mil.
We're gonna take these out so this thing can just.
Here's the stock strut.
Yeah. Oh no, this is
I'm sorry, aftermarket
I think
strut.
these are like H&R or something like that.
H&R coils, and looks like Bilstein struts. So whoever had this car before wanted it low, but it's basically like a budget lower job. The thing I find interesting is that the previous owner actually put subframe spacers or bushings in there, which are actually like a hardened, either aluminum or Delrin, and it actually smashes the old worn out urethane or rubber bushings that were in there. It actually stiffens it up so that the old clapped out rubber bushings are tightened up, basically. I don't know why they only did the rear. So we'll see, we might have to purchase some for the front.
Spacers ended up being 19 bolts, so I'm gonna go ahead and take all of these off, and then we'll be able to fully dump the 240 once we don't have spacers on it anymore. Cool. All right, time to get this spacer off and be ready to pull all of this out of the car to put the new suspension in.
Did you just fart when you did that?
No.
Oh, that would have been awesome if you did. Put out now. Yeah.
Here she comes.
Straight out the bottom. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not.
Oh.
She's a real beauty. Anybody want to buy those?
All right.
like-
Got some springs here.
The shocks look like they've, well, shocks actually look okay. The dust boot looks like it's seen better days, but springs are in good shape. Takiko. Oh, so it's actually a Takiko spring and shock.
Cool.
Nice. Cool. Well, let's put the nice stuff in.
All right. So this side's down. We're gonna go ahead and do the other side.
Let me go and grab the.
Oh, just let's do a before and after. You know, like just a sort of aftermarket and a really aftermarket. Oh,
Let's take a look at the length.
wow.
Of this. Now the Fortunato's are not adjusted yet. Obviously
Wow.
for height, so we need to figure that out.
I want everybody to just take a quick second here and admire the beauty that is Fortunato coilovers. These are unreal. Great freaking work.
Pretty nice stuff.
Time to install the Fortunato rear coilover. We've already got it set to the ride height, so as you can see, this thing is going to be unbelievably slammed.
What I did was, we already put the other side in. We know what height we're at. I measured from the bottom of this perch to the top of this perch. That's 5/8 of an inch. So I matched this side to that side. That way when we put them in, they're the same.
Cool.
Were you walking like an Egyptian in the background? Is that what that was?
Son of a bitch. On the phone.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Feed it to me. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the hole. The front, actually. Now let's go ahead and...
So we're actually using the jack to lift this up to be able to put the bolt into this. All right, rear coilover's on. We're gonna go ahead, slap the wheels on, drop it, and see how low this thing actually is.
It's actually not that low. It's definitely hot boy steez.
For hot boy status right now. You like that? That's some nice negative camber right there. This is exactly how I wanted it. This is great.
This is retarded.
This is not retarded. So low. It's so low. What'd you say?
So we were at 25 1/4 on the rear when we started. Let's see where we are now. Oh, 22 3/4.
Wow, so we dropped it 2.5 inches. All right, dudes, now that the rear is done, we have lowered the rear, jacked up the fronts. It's time for these to go on. Let's see them, Mick.
Beautiful.
Just nice.
Just nice.
Just nice, wow. We have one side already done. So this side is done. We have put the 25 mil spacers right there, and we maxed out the camber plates up here, and this is kind of what it looks like. Wow, that's a lot of camber, okay. Now that this side's done, me and Mickey are gonna go ahead and work on the other side. Gonna go ahead, take off the stock suspension, or the stock aftermarket suspension, and put on the new Fortunatos. Nice Calvin meme right here. We got some nut juice.
Juice. J-U-I-S-E.
Nut juice. I got it. There she is. Wow. Alright dudes, I didn't show much of it just because it's about to get dark outside and I'm really trying to get this all finished up, but the coilover is all buttoned up now. We have these two bolts in, the top hat all bolted in, and now we got the 25 mil spacer fixed. Good job. 25 mil spacer up front. I'm gonna go ahead, throw the wheel on, and we're ready to lower the car. I don't think I said this in the video. This is actually all just temporary because we have the parts laying around, and while I wait for, you know, my actual big parts to come in, I'm just doing the stupidest thing possible just to say that the 240 was at this stage. It's cool because I get to show 240 when I first bought it, this kind of in-between stage, and then once, you know, I have everything that is being planned right now, it's gonna be insane. So Mickey went ahead and hooked me up here. You can actually manually adjust your headlights. Mickey showed me that, so he gave me a little squinty eye action going on here. But we're done with the coilover. We're gonna go ahead, drop it, tighten all the wheels up, and I'm ready to pull this thing out of the garage.
You can probably pull it.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes! Is it stuck?
It's stuck.
I knew it, dude. Got it. There she is, boys.
Got half the pine tree on her, but
The 240 is slammed.
she's a little dirty.
I'm about to pull this thing out, and we'll do a little mini shoot with it.
Oh, you got this.
Yeah!
There's no suspension travel. There's zero suspension travel whatsoever. Rip. About that open diff life.
Let me take the time, I know you like when I describe it. I've been lying to myself, truth I wanna hide it. Fall in love in 7 days a week and won't describe it. I've been trying many things, but nothing comes as close as flying in the same plane as you. Fuck it, we can make it getaway only for two. I know you're really fond of breaking backwards and breaking roads, cool. Got a couple things I think that I could really get used to. You through with dudes saying that you leaving the bruise too. Fuck it, I'm equivalent to something you ain't never seen. Your life ain't the same, so why you pressure me?
Nice work today, Mick.
Yeah, well, can't wait to actually get going.
Here she is. Completely slammed, and it looks freaking awesome. I'm so stoked on this. But of course, if I haven't said this enough, this is just temporary. The wheels are temporary. The setup, alignment, everything is just temporary until I actually get my works on, which I have to completely rebuild. I have so many plans for this car that you guys don't know about. I'm just trying to finalize everything before I actually make an announcement about it, because I hate whenever I say something and then doesn't happen. So just trust me, it's gonna be awesome. Before we end today, we are gonna see, me and Mickey have decided that we're actually gonna rebuild the wheels ourselves. We should order the parts and make sure that we have everything here to disassemble the wheels. So before we end for the day, we're gonna check this out and see if we have everything we need to take off all of these bolts.
Guess what?
We don't.
We don't.